Good evening, all of you. Right, so there are 5 students. May I know whether you can hear me clearly? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
madam.
Okay, all right, fine. And so nice to meet you all. Today is the very first session of the module, the linguistic structure of modern English, right? So apart from the other modules you are following, you need to pay attention to the discussions of this module as well. And may I know whether you have received the particular the module of the linguistic structure of modern English? May I know whether you have any kind of the document on this subject? Yeah. I don't hear anything. If I ask the question again, do you have a module of this subject? Whether the campus has given you a module? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Rifa, I didn't get your answer clearly. Can I have a clear idea whether you have already received any sort of module based on this subject?
Yes, ma'am. We
Ah.
received modules.
Okay, fine, right. So the thing is this, you must have probably received a quite lengthy module, right? Based on the linguistic structure of modern English. And I'm preparing all the notes from that module. So therefore, as now all of you have that module, I don't find any reasons for me to send these notes back to you, right? They are the same thing. But the thing is, actually, I have simplified the main areas of that module. I have
Ma'am,
simplified. Yeah, Rifa?
ma'am, we received only modules, but not a particular, that means notes, right?
Module
Excuse me,
means,
ma'am.
what do you
Uh,
mean?
Ma'am, we received the topics actually, the content that comes under the
Content.
linguistic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ah,
only
not
the
the
topics.
content, only the topics. That means modules. What
Okay,
we are going to do, right?
means only the module titles, you know.
Yes, titles, yes.
Then, right. So I thought you have received a kind of like that's a lengthy module, but the thing is actually it's good if you have it, but the problem is a bit lengthy, and the other thing is a bit more complicated because a lot of informations are there. And so if you have not received it, no issue, right? No issue. Then tell me a way where I can send you the notes
Ma'am,
because
usually lecturers are sending these PPTs in chat box while we are in lectures.
okay, right, in the chat box, fine. So then I also will do the same, right? Okay, so could you please give me few seconds to go back and send it in the chat box? So it's better if I can send the PDF version, right? Rather than PPTs. Okay, just give me 1 second then. Right? Okay, right now I'm going to write in the chat and just wait a minute. Right. So could you all please check your chat boxes? See whether you have received a PDF. Okay. Okay, Rika, right, I got your fine. So then everybody must have received it. Fine. Then actually today I'm going to start with the discussion of the document I have sent to you. Okay, I'll go to my screen again. Right. So then, as I told to you, this module is the linguistic structure of modern English. And there are so many areas to be discussed, of course, to be covered by myself and for you to be thorough with. So here in this my screen, you can view there are 6 different areas. Okay, starting with the nature of language and linguistics. And then second topic, consonants and vowels. And after that, phonology, phonotactics, and suprasegmentals. Fourth topic, the internal structure of words and processes of word formation. Next one, grammatical categories and word classes. Finally, lexical semantics. Okay, so these are the 6 areas. And once again, if I go back to the module title, this is the linguistic structure of modern English. So this is directly related to linguistics. Okay, linguistic structure. But we are going to talk about the linguistic structure in relation to the English language, not in relation to the other languages, of course, right? There are situations where we are referring to languages in common during our discussion, but most of the examples, I think almost all of the examples we are taking from the English language. Okay, so that is why we have the linguistic structure of modern English. And then if I go back to the context, I think I have included this the topics breakdown in your note as well, right? So when you look at these 6 areas, you might get some sort of an idea regarding the nature of linguistics, right? So may I ask from you whether you have any sort of familiarity about the word linguistics? Do you know the word linguistics? Yeah. Or if I ask from you, what is linguistics? Do you have an idea or to be given as the answer? Linguistics? Anybody else? Yeah. Silence means you don't have a single idea about that.
Ma'am, linguistic is the
Mhm.
maybe
Mhm.
scientific study
Mhm.
that means about language.
Mhm. Okay, that's right. Linguistics is defined as the scientific and systematic study of language. That's it. Okay, so that's the short idea. But actually, when we talk about linguistics, it has a very wide scope, very broad scope, right? Not although simply we say linguistics is studying language, scientific and systematic study of language. Um, there are a lot of things available for us to study language, study of language. So when we directly now pay our attention to these contents, right? Now you can find when we analyze or when we study any language, basically we can study the structure of that language. Okay, structure of that language. So when we talk about the structure, there are several different levels available. Several different levels are there in any language. And now I'm not particularly talking about the English language, not only about the English language, right? There are so many languages, and what we are discussing here is common to any language used by the human beings in the world. So when we talk about the structures, right, there are sounds in language at one level. At another level, we can find out the words, right? And yet another level, we can find the sentences, phrases and sentences. And all these all these components have meaning. Now, briefly to say, when we study a language, when we study any human language, we can find these components: sound component, word component, sentence component, and meaning component. These separate components function on their own, which means sound is functioning. The sound component is functioning on its own. It's like a system. And formation of words is another different system. And formation of sentences is yet another different system. And there is a meaning system. Now, all these are actually separate subsystems. And by collecting all these systems together, we form one main system that is called language. Okay, so what you need to be clear here is that any language has a structure. Structure means a particular structure where we can find several different subsystems. Individually, these subsystems can function on their own, and also at the same time, simultaneously, these separate subsystems function in relation to each other also. Now, very simply, we can't talk about formation of words without talking about combining sounds, right? Similarly, we can't talk about sentence formation without talking about the words, individual words. And sounds, words, sentences, all these components are useless, right? If they are not meaningful, if we can't convey any meaning with these components. So everything is interrelated, right? That is what we mean by the structure of any language. So this structure is common to any language, as I earlier told to you. Right. So if I now come back to the topics breakdown here, in this module, the linguistic structure of modern English, we are going to discuss these components, right? These separate components, or we can call them even subsystems of language. Right. So at the very beginning, you have the first topic, the nature of language and linguistics. There, of course, we are going to discuss some major properties and characteristics of language and also the word linguistics. This is kind of introductory part, okay, to talk about language and linguistics. And after that, consonants and vowels. Actually, consonants, vowels, phonology, phonotactics, and suprasegments. Second and third topics. Both these second and third topics are related to the very first level of linguistic structure. That means the first level is related to sounds. studying the sounds. In one word, we give phonetics and phonology. Okay, so the second and third topics are related to phonetics and phonology of linguistics. And then fourth topic, the internal structure of words and processes of word formation. This is related to the next level, that is formation of words. After the sound level, we have the word level, right? Formation of words. And in linguistics, we have another term for that, that is morphology. Okay, so the fourth topic is related to morphology, right? And the fifth topic, that is grammatical categories and word classes, where we are talking about grammar rules. Another word for grammar rules is syntactic rules in any language. And in other words, of course, by discussing grammar rules, we discuss how to form sentences. Sentence formation. So after the word formation, we have sentence formation, where we are talking about how to arrange words in a sentence grammatically correctly. Right? Grammatically correctly. So that is where we talk about grammar rules in a language. And after that, the last component and the last topic also here, that is number 6, lexical semantics. And semantics is meaning, where we are talking about how to assign. We study how we can assign or how we can express meaning through words or sentences. Okay, so that is discussed in lexical semantics. So when you look at all these 6 levels, you should understand we are dealing with all the levels of linguistic analysis, beginning with the sound level, then word level, sentence level, and finally meaning level. In linguistics, we have particular technical terms to indicate these levels. So the first level, I told them to you earlier. First level, that is related to the sound level, we say phonetics and phonology. And the next level related to word formation, morphology. After that, the level related to sentence formation, syntax. And after that, the level that is related to meaning, semantics. Okay, so these are the major levels of linguistic analysis, which we identify to be the components of any language, right? So then we are going to deal with this aspect throughout the module. Did you get some, at least kind of basic idea regarding the nature of this module? Did I make it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there may be students among you who have learned about linguistics earlier. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Which means you are familiar with the words like phonetics, phonology, morphology, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, madam.
Okay, so that's much better. But still, if there is anyone who doesn't have an idea about these levels, these linguistic levels or these technical terms, it's all right. Okay, there's no issue. We are going to discuss all these things in a proper methodical manner. But once again, I have to tell you, don't think that we'll be able to, of course, I will be able to cover everything about phonetics, phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics, but because the time doesn't allow me to do so, and even at your level, of course, I will cater to your level, right? That's what I wanted to tell you. I will cater to your level, not more than that. Actually, there's no need of. So, certain areas I, of course, have simplified, and mainly I refer to the module, okay? That is on linguistic structure of modern English. If you happen to find that module also, that's no problem. You can read it. Even if you do not have that module, again, no issue, because I'm sending you the notes, right? I am sending you the notes. Better thing is, of course, if you if it's possible, get a printout of these notes. Because then and there are some exercises, questions, some works where you need to engage in. Okay, don't think that throughout the session you can simply be listening to me. No, you have to involve in the work, of course. Even if you are not talking here, that's all right. But I like if you talk anyway, right? But if you have a problem, of course, please switch on your mic and talk. I highly appreciate that. I have uploaded it to the chat box. Right? Rifa? You all have
Ma'am.
received?
Yeah, I downloaded.
Yeah. So there's a message telling or asking me to upload it to the chat box. I have already done it. So
Yeah, you can download it.
Yes, please download it from the chat box. And the thing is now, these notes, the one I have sent you, don't think that it's limited to today's session only. Okay. It covers several sessions. Now, as you all know, we can go, of course, around 10 sessions, maximum 10 sessions. So I'll try my level best to finish the discussions, finish all the discussions within this time span. Okay, right. So there's quite a lot to discuss. So let's start then. If you have another WhatsApp group, okay, Rifa, you just share it there also. Yes, there are some students telling that they didn't get the document. The thing is now constantly I can't be uploading the lecture materials to the chat box. I have already done it. So those who have received it, please share it in your WhatsApp group or something. I think most probably all of you are in a group now, right? So Rifa, could you please
Okay,
share?
ma'am. Okay, sure.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Okay. All right, then. Fine. Now, our first topic here, as you can find here, the nature of language and linguistics. This is an introductory topic, of course, but a little bit lengthy, but you will be familiar with some properties, some characteristics of language, and also about linguistics. So rather than abruptly starting to talk about consonants and vowels, that means at the sound level, let's be familiar with these terms, language and linguistics. So that's what we are going to do first here. And in this topic, you have these subtopics. Okay. We are going to talk about the nature of human language. Basically, we talk about human languages here, right? In linguistics. And then the nature of grammar and linguistics and the components of language, right? So these are the three main sections I'm going to cover under the first topic, right? So let's start with the nature of human language. So under that also we have to pay, of course, you have to pay your attention to certain areas. Fundamental beliefs about language, linguistic signs are there. And also when we talk about language, there are rules. So rule governed nature is another important aspect. And then something about animal communication codes, which means animal language. Okay, right. These are the areas. Then to start with the fundamental beliefs about language. Right? Okay. You don't have lengthy explanations here. You can view on my screen if it's difficult for you to read the note I have uploaded, right? Just the soft copy, you know. You don't have the print version, so you can just view on my screen, no issue. But the next day, it would be convenient for all of you if you come with the printout of it to the session, right? By the time you join the session, if you have print out. That will be easier for your reference. Now we are talking about the nature of human language here. Okay, what sort of language do we identify here as human language? There are some fundamental beliefs. Now we people are using language now all the time because from the birth, from the infancy up to our death, any human being uses language. But without using language, of course, we can't survive. That much it has become an essential component in our lives. So what do we think about this language? Okay, I have a question now. What is the purpose of using language? Why are we using language? We all are using language without thinking why, of course. Now I have that question. Yeah?
For the communication, right?
That is the main thing, right? So language is a kind of method used for communication. We use language as a method of communication. That's the number one. And when we say about communication, there's a whole lot to talk about, right? Because there are a lot of things available for us to communicate. I can communicate some facts, my opinions, my emotions, feelings. I can get certain things done. So there are a lot of things to talk about what to communicate. But anyway, at the very basic level, we know we use language as a method of communication, right? So what sort of a thing do we mean by language then? Because we use language as a method or as an instrument, right? We use language as an instrument. So we use it for our day-to-day works, communicative functions. But have you ever thought of what type of a thing language is? Have you ever thought about what language is? Rather than using it, right, going beyond its instrumental value, now this is an opportunity for you to think about that nature of language. So when we talk about the nature of human language, there are some fundamental beliefs, okay, that are existing among us. We have, of course, we do not say about these things anywhere, overtly or explicitly. They are not written down also, but these ideas are there within our minds, right? So one thing is equating language with writing. Some beliefs are actually baseless. Some beliefs are baseless, means not logical, not rational. We are just thinking or believing in certain things, and that's all without any proper kind of strong foundation. So the first point is something like that, equating language with writing. Many people believe language to be something that is existing in writing. For us to identify something as language, it has to be written. Now, what do you think about yourselves? Do you also have that belief? For us to identify something as language, it should have been written somewhere. Do you think so? So you try these things with yourselves, see whether you also have these beliefs, right? Some of these beliefs, maybe they are with you also. Yeah, what do you think? First point. Should there be written letters and words and sentences all the time for us to accept something as language? If it's not written, then it's not language. Are you following what I'm telling? Is my question clear? Yeah. You must be thinking about this first belief. Actually, that is a kind of misbelief, right? Baseless. Because in linguistics, remember, in linguistics, we consider spoken form of the language, not the written form. Linguistics means studying language, no? Scientific and systematic study of language. That is linguistics. So when we study language, basically we consider the spoken form of language, not the written form. So you can't be all the time equate language with writing. If something is not existing in its written form, you can't say there's no language there. Actually, rather than the written form, we prioritize or we consider the spoken form in linguistics, not the written form. So, language and writing are not, of course, tallying, right? It's not equal. So, this is a kind of misbelief. I have not given you further explanations, only the points here. Hope you can just listen and understand these points. If you want, you can write down certain additional information. Okay. And that's why I asked you to get a printout so that whatever you need, you can add them to the note if you have a print rather than the soft copy version. What about the second point here? There is a connection between a word and the thing it names. Now, this is quite an interesting property or characteristic of human language, right? So some people believe there is a connection between these two things, between a word and the thing it names. Word and the thing it names means I can tell you object, a word and its meaning. Meaning can be related to a particular object or to a particular concept, abstract thing. Right? Okay, I'll just write it here if this is not. Okay, if I go to a kind of general level, instead of the word, I would use the word symbol, right? Symbol and meaning. There are two things now. These two things are there in any language, not only in English, right? Any language, these two things are there, symbol and the meaning. So we use symbols. Basically, there are two types of symbols, written symbol and the oral symbol. Oral symbols are, what do you mean by the oral symbols? They are the sounds. And written symbols are the letters. Okay, right. So then, on the other hand, we have this meaning. So meaning can be, yeah, right here. Symbol can be two things, either sounds or letters. Sounds are the oral symbols and letters are the written symbols. Fine. Right. Okay. And when you think about meaning, meaning of again two things. One is meaning of a particular object, right? Or else meaning of a particular concept. Concept, you know the meaning of the word concept. Concepts are quite abstract, not tangible, whereas objects like tree, chair, table, house, they are tangible, physical objects. So meaning can be either of an object or a concept. Now, the point is this. Point is, there is a connection between the symbol and the meaning. Actually, this is quite a controversial point, right? On one hand, we can't say that there is a connection. But on the other hand, there is a connection. What are your ideas regarding this? Is there a connection between the symbol and the meaning? Now, I can exemplify it using this. Okay. Right? Tree is the symbol. And, okay, fine. Hope this would look like a tree so that you all are not confused, right? Okay, this is my question. My question is there a direct relationship between the symbol and the meaning? Meaning is the object. Here the symbol is tree and the object is this one, this physical object, which you can find. Right? In our gardens, we find these trees, no? Fine. So what about this then? Is there a direct relationship between the symbol and the object? Yes or no? Yeah? Kaushali, I don't hear you.
Yes, madam.
Yes. My question is there a direct relationship? Direct in the sense one-to-one or logical, rational. In Sinhala, we have the word tarkika, right? Is there a rational or logical relationship between tree, the word tree, and the object?
No, ma'am.
Actually, no, right? There is no direct or logical relationship between the symbol and its meaning. Not only the word tree, any word in any language, there is no logical relationship. We call this arbitrary nature of language. Okay, the word is arbitrary nature. We say human language is arbitrary. Human language is arbitrary. Arbitrary means there is no logical relationship between the symbol and its meaning. All right. But the thing is, still there is a connection. There is a relationship. Although that relationship is not logical, still we find there is some kind of connection, and that is why we are used to say tree to indicate that object. Otherwise, we could have used another word, no? But what will happen if I start using another word instead of the word tree to indicate that object? Will the others understand me? Do you think the others will understand me if I use
No,
another?
ma'am.
Never. Nobody will understand me, right? So it's really difficult for me to break that convention. I am using the word tree because my parents were using the word tree to indicate that object. So I'm using the same. And as I'm using the word tree, my children will also use the word tree to indicate that object. So it's like there is a connection that is decided by convention. Okay? Conventionally only we are using these symbols to indicate particular meanings. So to represent particular meanings. The connection is based on convention. From generation to generation, we are using words or symbols, either spoken symbols or written symbols, to represent some meanings. Other than that, there is no logical relationship between the symbol and its meaning. That's the point there. Hope you got that idea, right? If anything is not clear, you can talk. So we are talking about fundamental beliefs about language. So the second point, I was talking about the second point so far. So it says there is a connection between a word and the thing it means. Yeah, there is a connection, but that connection is not based on any rationality, not a rational connection or relationship. Okay, that connection is based on convention. Okay, and the third belief, a foreign language is somehow perverse and idiot, while our own language is natural and sensible. Okay, now this is not that much of a kind of serious point, but there are people who believe in this, like foreign language is language which is not your mother tongue or your second language, right? Usually we learn foreign languages with a purpose. Either I have to migrate to another country, for a purpose like that, then I have to learn the language of that country. For example, learning Korean, like, and learning French, Japanese, etc. These are foreign languages if you consider the Sri Lankan context. So there is some general belief that our mother tongue is quite natural and sensible, whereas these foreign languages are definitely, as I told you, not the mother tongue or even the second language, right? Somewhat totally foreign, belongs to another foreign country. They are quite perverse and idiotic, not right, not making sense. That's the meaning, right? It's really difficult to use foreign languages to express our emotions, our senses perfectly. So that sort of an idea is there with some people. Right now, I have a question. Which language do you feel most comfortable when you want to express your true feelings and emotions? Is it your
Our
mother?
mother tongue. Yes.
That's the thing. That's the point I am making here also. So it's there. Now, this kind of belief is there more or less within us. Now, we are not going to underestimate foreign languages that much, but above all the languages in the world, mother tongue is quite comfortable. It's quite natural and sensible for us. Okay. So people believe in like that. But do you think there is a kind of base in that belief? Is it correct? Is it really correct belief? With experience, I think you may have different ideas. But if you learn a foreign language equally well, if it has become your first language, then you can do the same with foreign language also. Like whatever you do with your mother tongue, you can do with your foreign language as well. And now there are some exceptional situations also, right? Think about a small baby who is born in our country in Sri Lanka and during the infancy is taken to another country where English is used as the native language. So mother tongue of that baby is Sinhala, let's say, right? For example, born in a Sinhalese family. So Sinhala is the mother tongue. And after some time, it is taken to another country. Then first language of that baby is, it becomes English. So what do you think? Do you think anymore that baby would feel comfortable with Sinhala there?
No, ma'am.
No. Already,
No.
another language has become the first language. Now, first language is not always mother tongue, right? First language is the language which a person uses for the most part of the life or most part of the day. That's first language. And majority of the people have both first language and mother tongue to be the same. But there are some exceptional situations like the example I just told to you. If baby born in one context is taken into another country, then his mother tongue is one thing and first language is another thing, another language. So there are situations like that. So all the time we can't say only the mother tongue, our own language here means the mother tongue, right? Is only natural and sensible. There are other languages too. Okay, let's move. Right. These are some only 3 points there to talk about the fundamental beliefs, and there are some functions of language. What are the things we do using language? That's what you mean by functions. Main function is actually the communicative function, right? Because we use language to communicate things. So along with that, we can relate the other functions too, actually. Language gives expression to our thoughts, which means we can express our feelings, emotions, thoughts, everything, opinions, our comments, our attitudes, everything using language. And this communicative function here is related to transmission of information. Okay, you know, communication is a broad term, right? It's a very broad term, communication. But here, communicative function. With this term, we mean Transmitting information. That is what you mean by communicative function, but we can transmit a lot of information. Information related to some facts as well as opinions, anything, right? And there is this third point, language is used to maintain social intercourse. The basic function of language is communication, but other than that, we people use language to maintain social intercourse, like in greetings or to talk about the weather. What do you think about that? To maintain some relationships with the people in the society. Sometimes we use language. If you think about the real purpose, the true purpose behind using language in these situations, it is actually not the communication. Not the communication. Now, what do you think about the greetings? Why do we greet people? Early morning, you happen to meet your colleagues, right? In your workplace or maybe in your academic institute, anywhere you meet your colleagues, your friends. So what do you say? When you first meet a friend or a colleague in the morning, what do you happen to say?
Good morning.
Yeah,
Yes,
automatically we greet now, right? So do you have the real need to wish your friend a good morning? Do you really have that need? Honestly? No. No, I don't think so. So then why should we say good morning? If you are not really intending to wish that. Still we say good morning. Yes, to create a positive environment, to maintain or to create and maintain a good personal relationship with your friend, right? What if you do not say anything and just go without, telling anything? Do you think that the very good relationship will be built there between you and the friend? No, right? So we just say greetings, good morning, so good evening, a lot of things, most of the greetings, just to maintain social intercourse. And even there's another example talking about the weather, this weather. Now, when you meet your friends, do you talk about weather? I mean, is weather an important topic? I don't think among friends. Hmm? Among friends, unless it is horrible weather, usually we are not interested in talking about weather with our friends. No, we have far more better things to share rather than talking about weather. But think about the situation where two unknown people are meeting together. Okay, let's say you are in a queue. Let's say in wherever, right? A queue, maybe waiting for the bus. All right. Then you want to make friends with the other person. So what would be the usual topic? You want to talk with the other person, but the problem is you don't know the other person and the other person also doesn't know you. But still you want to make a kind of friendship. You just want to talk with that person. One good starting point would be, I mean, you can't ask about the personal information from that fellow, right? You can simply talk about the weather. But the real need is not to talk about the weather there, but to establish a kind of connection, a relationship with that person. Okay, right. So these are two examples only, and there are many more instances, I think, where we use language simply to I'm sorry, I got disconnected. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. We can
Just wait, still the line is getting connected. Just give me 1 second, right? Okay, right. So let's go back to the screen. Yeah, I was talking about this use of language in creative writings. Okay, in creative pieces of work like poetry, fiction, like novels and short stories. To produce any of these creative pieces of work, you need to use language as the raw material. So without using language, we can't produce creative writing, right? So that is also considered to be another function of language. So apart from the basic function, that means using language as a method of communication, you can find other functions as well. Okay, so be familiar with these ideas. Also, language is used to get others to do things, to express emotions, feelings, to make promises. Now, these are the linguistic functions. Language, to ask questions, to bring about states of affairs, talk to oneself, and talk about language itself. These points are also very important when we talk about the functions, the linguistic functions of language. Get others to do things, especially if you relate these things to some grammatical structures, right? We can use language to make others do something. Like example from the grammar structures is imperatives. You know what imperatives are, right? Imperatives, in simple terms, commands, requests, orders, right? Go away. Please keep the book on the table. So these are some requests and orders and as well as commands. So by using language, we can get the people do whatever thing we want to do, right? We want them to do. So that's one function. And the second one is clear, I think. We can use language to express emotions, feelings, even to make promises and to ask some questions, interrogative patterns, right? And to bring about states of affairs, like to tell some assertive sentences. We are talking about the assertive sentences there. And talk to oneself also. Are you talking to yourselves? How about that? You have experience people are thinking alone. So that is possible, right? Anybody can think all alone without any friend or anybody close by. But can we talk to ourselves? Do you talk to yourself? Any experience?
Yes, ma'am.
Really?
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. It happens sometimes, not all the time, right? Then will be a problem. But sometimes, have you seen small children, kids? They are used to, especially all alone when sometimes a child, when there is only one child in the family, right? So you must have seen talking all alone to himself or herself, assuming that there is another one nearby. like that. So for that also we use language. Without language we can't do so, right? And the last point, we use language to talk about language itself. As what we are doing now. Actually, what do we do? Here I am using language to talk about language. In one word, we have the term meta-language. Meta-language is talking about language by using language. So we can talk about the definition of language, functions of language, characteristics of language, nature of language. So all these things are about, right, language itself. So this discussion is meta-language based on language itself. Okay, so apart from the previous functions, you can think about these functions too that are directly related to linguistic functions, right? Why language is used, right? So that's enough about something basic about language. Now we are coming to the next topic on science, linguistic science, we say, right? So we say any human language has signs. You know what signs are? Signs are the things that stand for or represent something else. It's like symbols, no? Right? When we go by the side of the road, we find road signs. Similarly, language also has signs. And linguistic signs are sequences of sounds which represent concrete objects and events as well as abstractions. What do you mean by these linguistic signs then? That's what earlier I mentioned as symbols. Okay, and earlier I told you symbols are of two types, oral symbols and written symbols. Here in this point, we talk about oral symbols. That is why here it's given as linguistic signs are sequences of sounds. Oral symbols. Sequences of sounds means oral symbols which represent a lot of things. So it can represent these sounds can represent concrete objects, which means physical objects and even events and also some abstract concepts. Any of these things can be represented by the linguistic signs or symbols. Right? So when we talk about the signs, there are three types: iconic signs, indexical signs, and symbolic signs. Okay, I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes now because you got the note today itself. So you just view on my screen and quickly go through these three types of signs and just be familiar with what they mean. Okay. So then what about the first type? Iconic signs. These three are three different types of signs. Okay, that's why I gave you a reading time also. Iconic signs resemble the things they represent. They resemble means they show the things they represent. Like photographs, diagrams, star charts, chemical models, whatever they represent, these iconic signs show what they represent. That's the idea. So if you happen to see a photograph of an elephant, right? Photograph of an elephant, photograph or an image of an elephant, what do you understand? What does it represent? It represents an elephant. Okay. So what you see in the iconic sign and what the iconic sign represents, both are same. Both are same there. Right? Second one, indexical signs. They point to or have a necessary connection with the things they represent. Usually they point at something. Like, for example, there are several examples here. Smoke to fire. A weathercock to the direction of the wind. You know what weathercock is, right? It indicates the direction of the wind. And symptom indicates an illness. Smile indicates happiness. So frown indicates anger. Right? So they point to or have a connection with the thing they represent. This is the key right here. Pointing out to having a connection with the meaning or whatever they represent. And third one, symbolic signs. They are only conventionally related to the thing they represent. So there is no overt similarity between the sign and the meaning when we talk about the symbolic sign. A flag to a nation, right? When we talk about a flag, actually, what does it represent? A whole nation. And when we think about a red rose, when we happen to see a red rose, it symbolizes love. And wedding ring symbolizes marriage. Okay. Symbolic signs are like that. So when we talk about the signs, any of the signs can come under either of these three categories. It can be the iconic sign, indexical sign, or symbolic sign. Okay, right? You have some more information about these signs. To talk about the iconic signs in language, you know what iconic signs are now? They resemble the things they represent. Right? And this is the idea. They are similar to the meanings they represent. Then from language, we can get some iconic signs in onomatopoeic words. Onomatopoeic words. That's actually a literary device. We call it onomatopoeia. Right? So these words show or resemble the natural sounds they represent, like bow wow. Whenever you see the word bow wow, right? What do you understand? Yeah, when you hear the word bow wow, that's barking of a dog, right? Okay, and when you hear the word buzz, what do you remember? Buzz. Again, we can relate to some type of animals, right? Who
Bee.
can buzz?
Bees.
Bees. The bees. Yeah, buzzing. Only the bees can produce. So you remember the sounds produced by the bees when you hear buzz. So likewise, clapping, right? You know what clapping? Clap, tick tock, and rattling. there are a lot of onomatopoeic words available in the English language. So the special thing of these words is that they are quite similar to what they mean. They are similar to the natural sounds they represent. So they are an example. They form an example for iconic sounds. Iconic signs, right? One example. Another example is word order. Word order. Now look at these three sentences. Susie went to New York, Montreal, and Toronto. Right? Think about the first sentence now. This one. Susie went to New York, Montreal, and Toronto. Actually, I want to, if I am the speaker of this sentence, right? I want to tell you that Susie has gone to respectively first New York, then Montreal, and Toronto. These three places. First, she has gone to New York. Then after New York, she has gone to Montreal. And after that only, she has gone to Toronto. That's what I want to tell you. So the similar order you can find in the sentence also. That is why you have Susie went to New York first. And Montreal comes next. And the word Toronto comes last. To represent the actual order of the visiting. Okay. So word order in that regard can be considered as an iconic sign in language, right? Second one is the same. Sybil became ill and left the party. So I want to tell Sybil, this person has become ill and she has left the party. So what if I say it like this? Sybil left the party and became ill. It can happen also, but that is not what I wanted to tell you. I want to tell she left the party because she became ill. So first I mentioned became ill because that is the first thing that happened according to the chronological order, right? And after that, left the party. According to the order of the incidents, I have arranged the sentences in my expression. She ate dinner, read the newspaper, and watched TV. These three actions have happened in the chronological order, and accordingly, the word order has been formed. Right. So, word order is another example for iconic signs, and you have the third example, iteration. Iteration is repetition. Car repairs became more and more expensive. Actually, this is more expensive and more expensive. Car repairs became more expensive and more expensive. That's what I want to tell you. But as the adjective expensive is repeating, it has one adjective has been omitted. And instead of telling more expensive and more expensive, here we say more and more expensive. It's a kind of gradual increase, right? In Sinhala, we say kramakrami, gradually, when you want to refer to something which is increasing gradually, then you can repeat the adjectives. They are getting richer and richer. What about that sentence? They are getting richer and richer, which means they are getting gradually rich now. So I say the same meaning by repeating the adjective. That is iteration. Okay, repetition is what we call iteration, and it is another iconic sign. Repeating. Repetition means the gradual increase. Getting something increased gradually. Indicated in language via repetition. So here you can see then three examples for iconic signs in language. Okay. Next, you have indexical signs in language. We have very good example from demonstrative verbs, demonstrative pronouns. This, these, that, those. You have only two words here as examples, but we have four. This, these, and that, those. And also the verbs, adverbs like now and then, they indicate now means just now, whatever we are referring at the moment, and then means early, right? So indexical signs, hope you remember now, they indicate a kind of connection between the sign and the object or the meaning. There's a kind of connection or pointing at something. So you can find these qualities in demonstrative pronouns and these adverbs, not all adverbs, right? Adverbs like now and then. They are indexical signs in language. And the third category, symbolic signs. In language, remember, almost all the signs in a language are symbolic. Here comes that point which I earlier referred to, arbitrary nature of language. The relation between the linguistic sign and what it signifies, so what it represents, is, we say, arbitrary, and that was first introduced. This idea was introduced by Ferdinand de Saussure, a Swiss linguist. He is the one who has introduced this idea that languages are arbitrary. That means the linguistic sign and the meaning. Between these two, there is no logical or natural relationship. That means arbitrary. But still, signs are conventional, right? Although there is no logical relationship between sign and the meaning, still there is a connection, right? So therefore we say connection that is based on conventions, right? So therefore we say signs are arbitrary, but they are conventional too, which means there is a tacit agreement among the speakers of a language. Tacit agreement, there is an agreement within the minds of the speakers of a language that they should use some signs to indicate some meanings. Tacit means not a written agreement, okay? You don't find them to be written anywhere. They are within the minds of the speakers. For example, apple stands for a particular fruit. There's no resemblance between the sound of the word and the appearance or taste of the fruit. No relationship. There is no similarity between the sound, apple, and the appearance or the taste of the fruit. Arbitrary nature. But still we are used to say apple to indicate apple, to mean apple, right? So that is the conventional nature of the sign. But then remember, when we talk about the symbolic signs in any language, they are arbitrary as well as conventional. These two characteristics you need to understand in relation to symbolic signs in language. Okay. Now, what about your situation? Are you all listening? Just following what I'm telling? I didn't stop to ask any question even. I just talking at a stretch. Have you been able to follow what I was telling?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay, these three signs, they are the ones I was talking so far, right? Now, the latter part, I was relating these three types of signs to language. How in language do we find these three types of signs? That's what I discussed. You have some more information about symbolic signs in language. Okay. I'm just talking about this tacit agreement here. Tacit agreement between the, among the speakers of a language that we should use a particular word to indicate a particular meaning like that, right? So continuation of that, this linguistic agreement can change over time. This tacit agreement, it's not permanent. Over a long time, it can undergo changes. Now, can you see the evolution of the word which we use to indicate phone, a mobile phone? Earlier, it was cellular or mobile phone, right? Earlier. You must have heard the word cellular, and some people used mobile phone, right? So this evolved into cell phone or mobile. The word phone is dropped actually. Cell phone instead of cellular or mobile, just the word mobile instead of mobile phone, right? After that, from this to this and after this, what happened? Now we have the word smartphone. You don't find anybody using the word cell phone nowadays, right? So this is the evolution. So this linguistic agreement, this tacit linguistic agreement can change, which means there are situations where we break the convention. We break the convention, but it requires a long time. Okay, over one night or within 2 weeks, 1 month, it doesn't happen. It takes a long time, and linguistic agreement is changed as well. See, Oriental, earlier the word Oriental was used to indicate Asian people, but now no one is using the word Oriental anymore. Instead, we use the word Asian. Okay, from the word Oriental, now it has been transformed to the word Asian to refer to the same set of people, right? Only the word has changed. And crippled individuals, now you are quite familiar with this, I think. Crippled individuals, from that term, we had handicapped or disabled, but now we use differently able. We are not using even the word disabled to indicate such people, right? Never the word handicapped even. It's differently able to give some sort of respect to such people. Now we do not use disabled or handicapped. And for manic depressive, we have a better word now, bipolar disorder. Okay. So with the time being, you can see certain words or expressions have undergone changes. Certain expressions which we use to indicate particular meanings, only the expressions have undergone change, not the meanings. So symbolic signs can change. That's the point. That's what I wanted to tell here. But it requires long time, right? Okay, now you have a small work, very simple work. I think I have included this question in the note also, but you can leave it on my screen, right? The question is there on the screen. Identify the following non-linguistic signs. These are not linguistic signs, okay? They all are not related to language. Non-linguistic signs as what? Iconic, indexical, or symbolic. Or sometimes certain signs can be combination of any two types as well. Okay. Right. So there are 10, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different non-linguistic signs. You try now, identify their type. That's what you need to do. Okay, I'll just have a few minutes for that.
Ma'am, do you want to
Yes,
answer
I'm
this?
Yeah. Have all of
So-
you done the work? Everyone?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So let's see then the first one, a wave of the hand. What do you
The
think about
symbolic.
that?
Iconic.
You can, right? You must have done the work. Just stop here. Just wait. Give me 1 second. A wave of the hand, you say symbolic.
Iconic.
Iconic. What else? Are there any other different answers? I have the answer slide, but I want you to talk first. Okay?
Like that
Right.
socially learned meaning of goodbye. Goodbye, right? Socially we know that
Mhm.
goodbye is a symbolic one.
Okay. So you say it's a symbolic sign.
Yes, ma'am.
Not any combination.
I think
Okay.
that
Fine. So the next one then. Picture of a cigarette with a red circle around it and a diagonal slash through it. I hope you can visualize this, right? Okay.
oh yes.
So you must have seen that. What do you think about the type of that?
That
Index.
I think two types.
What are the two types?
Symbolic and iconic.
Iconic.
Okay. Symbolic as well as iconic. Fine. Third one. Anyway, I'm going to do answers like after we finish this. So you don't be in a hurry to finalize the answers, right? Third one, roadmap. What do you think about that? Yes. From the three
Symbolic.
types, symbolic. That's all. Only symbolic. The roadmap
I
you
think
must have
that's
seen.
iconic, ma'am.
Just think about Google now. At least, yeah. Iconic and
That yes,
symbolic.
right.
Okay. Next one, stop sign. Stop sign. You
It's
have
symbolic.
Symbolic.
It's a symbol, right?
Right. Okay. Next one, the footprints of an animal in the mud. How about that?
That is indexial. Indexical, right?
Indexical.
Indexical.
Yes.
Only indexical. Footprints of an animal. So by looking at the footprints, can't you guess who the animal is? Sometimes we
Okay.
can, by looking at the
Sometimes.
footprints, then is it only
I-
index? Okay, think about it. And then F, a jack-o'-lantern. It's a kind of lantern, jack-o'-lantern, right? You have any idea about that?
Icon.
That is F. Not iconic, of course, right?
Indexical.
Both symbolic and indexical.
Index.
Right, thunder. Thunder. That is clear. What do you think about thundering?
Iconic.
Really? Other than that, I think you have a better type. Hmm? When you look at thundering, can't you see the direction where these thunders are aiming at? No idea. Okay. Next time when the thundering is going on, just be on a little bit more alert. You will find it. Like the human figure depicted on the washroom door. Or you must have seen it for males separately and females separate human figures. How about that?
Symbolic.
Symbolic.
That is
Symbolic?
symbolic. Wait,
Symbolic.
the
Uh,
human figure did.
Iconic.
Symbolic. Human figure, right? Human figure. Now, by looking at the human figure, even we don't have to read the label now. By looking at the
Iconic.
figure, we can guess whether it's female or male.
It's iconic,
Okay.
represents male or female, right?
That's it. Right. Skull
It's
and
iconic.
crossbones. Next one. Skull and crossbones as a sign for poison. It's there
It's a symbol.
in labels now.
It's a symbol, right?
Symbolic.
Yes.
Is that so? Skull and crossbones. You can argue
yes.
it like that also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
We are saying according to our knowledge what we got.
Yeah. Fine,
After your
fine.
explanation,
I
inshallah,
really appreciate, right?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
really appreciate your answers. The last one, the smell of a skunk. What do you think about the last one?
Lexical?
Yes. Right. Okay. I'll go to the answer slide. Now, these are the answers, so don't confuse with the word arbitrary, okay? The word arbitrary is also given here, but I ask you to select from the 3 types, no? So, you just check your writings. Check the writings. Shall I move to the next slide? Oh, just tell me when you are done with this. Okay. Right. Now there's another work for you. Could you all please check whether you have got this question in the note? All of the following linguistic signs that are underlined, as well as being arbitrary, are in part either iconic or indexical. Right? So all are arbitrary. That is anyway clear now. Other than that, are they iconic or indexical? You need to understand that. All, I mean, just disregard the symbolic nature, right? You need to identify from these two, iconic or indexical. I hope the question is clear to you. Right? Can you please tell me whether you have got this question in the note? I can't remember whether it's there.
Yes, madam.
Right.
Is there?
Okay. Yes. So please, fine. So please temporarily have a look at your note then, right? Because I'm going to close my screen. Now today there are a lot of disturbances. I'm really sorry. For the very first day, we have to face these issues. Now no electricity, right? So therefore I have to take this to my mobile phone, right? In case my battery will be shut down, so definitely it will not last for a long time. So I'm going to stop my screen sharing. Please look at the question in your note and take few minutes again to complete the answers, right?
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing the work or have you finished the work? Still doing? Yes. Well, so if you have done the works, let's wind up the discussion with the answers then, right? Because I also had an issue because of the power failure. I had to change my device also now. Because as a result, I'm not in a position to share the screen, but you already have the question in your note, no? Okay. Even if I do not share my screen, you can manage with your notes. The question is there. Okay, the first one, the balloon rose higher and higher into the sky. Higher and higher. That part is underlined. So you need to identify whether it is iconic or indexical. Iconic or yeah?
Iconic.
Okay, fine. Correct. Iconic. Right? So now I am not in a position to show my slides or the answer, so I also will confirm your answer. Second one, here is your code. Here is the word.
Indexical.
Indexical.
Yes, here we use here to point out something, point out code. So it is indexical, correct. And do you want a fizzy drink? Fizzy drink. What about that? Fizzy is the word.
Iconic.
That is
Iconic.
iconic. Iconic, correct. Iconic, right. Okay. Next one, this pan is big, but I need the biggest pan that you have. So both big and biggest are under
Iconic.
here. They are, yes, iconic, correct. And E, the building was huge.
Iconic.
Huge.
Iconic.
See how the
Iconic.
word is written also. So that is iconic, correct. Iconic, huh? Not indexical. And next one, he sneered and snickered. Sneered and snickered. What about that?
Iconic.
Iconic.
Iconic, correct. To the left is a picture by Michelangelo. Left is the word.
Indexical.
Correct. Indexical. That is indexical. The last one, we were awakened by the cock-a-doodle-doo of the rooster. Now you must have heard of it, cock-a-doodle-doo. And
Iconic.
that is iconic because it's more like onomatopoeic word. Okay. It's similar to the sound made by the rooster, onomatopoeic sound. Iconic. That's correct. So it seems like that you have identified these three types of signs correctly, and you have given the answers also correctly. Fine. So that's good. And now anymore, I don't want to talk about the signs now, as I think you have got some basic idea about the signs of language, right? And we have the next topic on the rule governed nature of language. But the problem is we don't have many time left, only few minutes. And the other big issue is I'm not in a position to share my screen. That's the thing. So therefore, although some few minutes are left, so we can cover it in another later session. Shall we wind up the discussion? Okay. Anyway, I'll give you a very brief intro to the next topic. I'm not going to the note, okay, right? Because I can't show it to you. Next, we are going to talk about the rule-governed nature of language. That means any language, we find rules, no? Okay, in any language, there are rules. Now, earlier also, can you remember, I was talking about syntactic rules. Syntactic rules are what we call grammar rules here, right? So, any language, where we can find at the sound level, at the word formation level, at the sentence formation level, at any level, we can find rules. So everything is connected with the rules. That is why we say there is a structure. Normally, structure cannot exist without attaching the components of that structure with the rules. So everything in a language is rule governed. That is the main point we are going to have our discussion on next. And under that, there are some information, some facts we need to talk about. So with the slides, let's talk about this in the next day. All right? Okay, so we will be meeting, I think, next weekend on the 25th, as I know. Yeah, we are going to meet on the next 25th as well as 26th. So continuously we'll talk about this one, and if possible, just bring a hard copy of this note when you come to the next session, so that you will be able to write down whatever the additional information you need to take. All right then. So once again, I'm really sorry for these the interruptions due to the power failure. So can't help, right? Now these days we have bad weather, no? So sometimes it's raining also, and things like that can happen. What is this chat? Okay, now just Hima, talking about these modules, of course, if the campus provides these modules with you, then that's fine. Otherwise, no need of worrying about these modules, okay? Because I happen to mention it in case you have received these modules. But if you not have received, then just don't bother, because quite complicated, right? And complex. Instead, I will send you some further reading materials, some supplementary materials, which will help you follow these points, right? These topics. I will send you during my next session. All right. Okay, then I'm going to wind up the discussion, and let's meet on the next day, probably 25th. Right? Good night, all of you then.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.